Coming too early is one of the most embarrassing things that could ever happen to you. It completely destroys your confidence. It completely destroys her respect for you. She'll tell you it doesn't, but it absolutely does. I can speak from personal experience. I have been there. I remember one time I was with this super banging girl, one pump, boys. I fucking came. And guess what? The next day she broke it off with me. So I went to work figuring out, A, of all, why does this happen? And B, of all, how to solve it. Because I have a technique that's super unconventional, but super powerful and extremely effective to basically last as long as you want to. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The technique of all techniques.
Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast. The only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it.
If you're anything like I was, then you're a one-pump chump, a two-dip skip, a three-stroke joke. Or perhaps you clicked into this episode because you want to learn how to last longer with girls in the bedroom. Guys, I can speak from personal experience. Coming too early is one of the most embarrassing things that could ever happen to you. It completely destroys your confidence. It completely destroys her respect for you. She'll tell you it doesn't, but it absolutely does. And it annihilates your self-esteem. A lot of you guys have been there, and I'm going to tell you exactly why psychologically this happens. And gentlemen, stay tuned until the end because I have a technique that's super unconventional, but super powerful and extremely effective to basically last as long as you want to continue to come time after time and be able to keep going. And women absolutely love it. So make sure you stay tuned until the very end. All right, boys, let's jump into the content. So first of all, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been there. I know I've been there, brothers, where after I come too quickly with a girl, I just feel absolutely fucking defeated. I feel completely annihilated. My confidence is right out the window. It's like my heart just got shit on by a sumo wrestler and pissed on by a girl with chlamydia. It absolutely destroys your confidence, and you feel like your life is from a Simon and Garfunkel song where you're like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." And then you spend the next 2 weeks on the corner of your bed in the cannonball position crying like a schoolgirl. I have been there. I remember one time I was with this super banging girl. We were making out in my bed. I took off her bra. I took off her panties. I was naked. And because I knew I had premature ejaculation issues, I wasn't going to have sex with her. It's so stupid, right? So we're like making out. It's on. She's super wet. She takes my dick and she puts it inside of her. One pump, boys. I fucking came. It was the most embarrassing thing that's probably ever happened to me. And guess what? The next day she broke it off with me. Talk about annihilating your confidence, ripping your heart out of your chest, throwing it on the ground and spraying it with biohazard diarrhea. That's exactly what happened to me. So I went to work figuring out, A, of all, why does this happen? And B, of all, how to solve it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, gentlemen, there is a phenomenon in psychology and in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, that's called the second wolf phenomenon. Second wolf phenomenon, or we could say the second monkey phenomenon, is basically you feeling like a beta cuck, you feeling like you're not the alpha male. And when you're having sex with a girl, particularly a girl who you feel is more attractive than you are, like she's higher up in the hierarchy of attractiveness, you will come quickly, and this is completely in your lizard brain, in order to prevent being seen by the alpha male. This goes back to tribal communities or even monkey communities where the alpha monkey, let's say the silverback, is the one who gets to have sex with all the girls, but the beta cuck will sometimes get in there and get to have sex with the girls too because they want to basically spread the gene pool, right? So sometimes girls will have sex with the beta cuck, and this happens with humans too. Not very often, but it does happen. So you being the beta cuck, at least in your own mind, you will come quickly, just like the monkey who's trying to get his nut off before the alpha silverback catches him. Again, that's called the second wolf phenomenon or the second monkey phenomenon, where because you don't feel like you're enough, you're going to come quickly because that's kind of what's predisposed in your lizard brain. The trick, of course, is to get intrusive with it. And this is exactly what I do in my 3-month coaching program, where we work with NLP to remap that kind of belief system to make you feel like you're the alpha male and you can last as long as you want to, because you don't need to hide from anything. You don't need to get that nut off before you get caught. You're completely free to do what you want. How many of you guys have been masturbating in your room and suddenly you hear your dad or your mom knock on your door? I know that's happened to me. And what happens? You immediately come. That is biologically predisposed inside of you before you get caught. So that's evidence of how this really works. The second wolf phenomenon. If you don't feel like you're enough, you're going to come quickly. In addition to this, and this too is so huge in today's society, you might have a belief system that sex is wrong. You might have a belief system that it's dirty, it's creepy, you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. So what is your psychology going to do if you feel like sex is wrong? It's going to try to get it over with quickly, isn't it? So if you feel sex is wrong, and by the way, this is all belief systems, which we can remove with NLP if you come into my 3-month coaching program. If you have a belief system that sex is wrong, you're going to come quickly to get it over with. Also, and this is a different episode, you might not even be able to get it up. And this is the reason for erectile dysfunction. Oftentimes, if we believe it's dirty, it's gross, I'm not enough, I can't do it right, you just won't get hard. Your red helmeted warrior is like, well, I really don't want to be in that squish mitten because I believe that having a festival in her vestibule is wrong because, say, for example, the Bible tells me so, which is a huge thing that a lot of people deal with, then you're not going to be able to get it up. And I have tons of clients who come into the program with these belief systems. I'm not enough. Sex is wrong. Sex is creepy. It's dirty. You shouldn't have sex before marriage. And once we remap those belief systems, then they're able to A, of all, get it up, and B, of all, last a hell of a lot longer than they could before. Now that begs the question, Mark, do you make NLP protocols specific for premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction? I do not. But I do deal with it with guys in my 3-month coaching program, because when you build the man up, when you build his self-esteem up, when you remove belief systems, when you deal with traumas, that automatically solves itself. I have had literally dozens, if not hundreds of guys tell me, dude, I can now last as long as I want to. I can now get a boner on command. It's now in my control because I remap belief systems. So that's the first thing, boys. And oftentimes, for those of you listening who unfortunately won't come into my 3-month coaching program, why you wouldn't is beyond me, but you're going to do what you want to do. For those of you who won't come into the program, awareness alone is sometimes curative, meaning by you just knowing about the second wolf phenomenon, by you just knowing that you don't feel like you're enough, so you're going to come quickly to get it over with because perhaps in some way you even want to blow yourself out, a self-fulfilling prophecy, perhaps. Just knowing that will sometimes be enough to cure it. Not always, but it's like the first step, right? You're like, oh shit, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like sex is wrong, so I'm going to get sex over with as quickly as possible. Now, some of you are sitting there being like, nah, man, I don't feel like sex is wrong. And I would say to you, really? Are you sure, bro? Let me ask you this. How do you feel after you masturbate to porn? Do you feel guilty? Why would you feel guilty? What is it about society that put that into your brain? Is it perhaps from religion? This society is highly affected by Christianity. Other societies are highly affected by Buddhism or Islam, depending where you come from. But I know as Americans, Canadians, Australians, and Englishmen, Christianity is the predominant religion. And oftentimes it does say sex before marriage is wrong, masturbation is wrong. If Jesus catches you rubbing one out, you're going straight to hell, dog. And therefore you feel guilty about it. You're going to have issues with premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction, which once again, we can deal with in my 3-month coaching program. All right, so we understand the psychology behind it. Now let's get into some of the techniques. First of all, boys, as they said in the funny movie, Something About Mary from the 90s, don't go out into the world with a loaded gun, which basically means don't go on a date with the girl or even have sex with the girl unless you've masturbated first. Kind of got that pre-nut jitters out of your body, especially if you're a bit younger, like guys in their 20s or even into your 30s, or like me, I'm 48. Once you get a little bit older, you can have a little bit more control over it. But I know in my 20s, I used to have to rub one out before I knew that I would have sex with a girl, just so that I could last longer. So you rub one out, you get it off, and now the chances of premature ejaculation go down. Second tip is this. I don't know if you know, but they have condoms that have some like numbing cream on them. That shit saved my ass during my 20s, where when I would have sex with a girl, I would use the numbing condoms. I haven't seen them in a while because I get to raw dog it since I have my girl that I'm committed to, and raw dogging is so much better. Oh my God, I hate condoms, and I'm sure you guys agree with me. But they do have numbing condoms. I know Trojan makes them. They came in a gray box. And what I would do is I would put that on. Dude, I've tried everything, bro. I would like put rubbing cream on. I'd try 2 condoms, and then of course one would slip off. But the numbing cream really works well to help you last longer. And you guys know what it's like, man. Like sometimes when you're about to have sex with the girl, especially a super hot one, and you're so horny, you'd fuck a snake if you could hold it straight. You're like dealing with the bomb in Afghanistan, dude. Like if you accidentally rub your penis on a pillow on the way in to having sex with her, you just erase like 5 pumps from your total pump tally when you're having sex with this chick. So you're like handling it very delicately, like, oh, don't look at it wrong, dude, because it'll jizz. Just like that song, I jizzed in me pants, when she simply whispers something in your ear. This happens to guys. I've seen it happen. I've heard about it happening. A lot of us are very sensitive. And again, oftentimes it's belief systems. So the best thing you could do, of course, is rub one out before you have sex with her. The next thing to do is use those condoms. The third thing to do is to control your mind. And I know a lot of you guys have heard about this, where you don't look at her too much. Like I've literally been looking at the ceiling, or like thinking about my business, or thinking about Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day, which was said in that movie Austin Powers, right? You think about some super disgusting grandma, or a dude even. I've even like thought about dudes just to let myself go longer. And I'll tell you, there is nothing more debilitating to my boner and to my chances of getting premature ejaculation than thinking about a fat dude with a beard on a bike. That's like the number one biggest turnoff, right? So you have to figure out what your turn off is and think about that while you're having sex with her. All right, boys, next up is the technique of all techniques. This shit works so fucking well. But before I get into that, I want to remind you guys again, 2 days from now, September 27th at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time, we are having, drum roll please, Liam, the Sex Masterclass with my good friend, the hottie, the sexy Kirsten Trammell. She is going to teach you all the tricks she knows about how to please a woman in bed, but most importantly for this episode, how to come on command. What she taught me, and she's shown me everything that you're about to learn, absolutely blew my mind. Everything I'm sharing on this episode pales in comparison to what she's going to show you, how to come on command. Again, boys, I'm just a layman. I'm just a dude. I've had sex with lots of girls, but I do not call myself a sex coach. I'm just telling you my layman's experience. If you want a professional sex coach to teach you how to come on command, how to last as long as you want to, how to be an absolute superhero in the bedroom, you do not want to sleep on this masterclass. It's in 2 days, Saturday, September 27th at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you can't make it, you will still get a recording of it. Guys, you do not want to miss this. I'm just being honest with you. The best secrets are not revealed on a podcast. The best secrets, as all my clients can attest, are revealed in a program that you have to pay to get into. So invest in yourself, man. Don't be fucking cheap. Do you want to be the best sex a girl's ever had? Do you want to get rid of your issues with longevity and be able to come on command? This is going to teach you how to do it. Kirsten has had decades of experience with this. She has had thousands of satisfied clients, and she's going to satisfy you too. And if you're not, I will buy the program back from you. No questions asked. Just email me, be like, hey, it didn't really live up to my expectations, and I'll buy it back from you. But I can guarantee you, boys, it is going to live up to your expectations. You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge, because you're going to be absolutely blown away by this content. I read it myself. I'm using the techniques. Oh my God, dude, I am a superhero in the bedroom. I can come on command. I'm just like, all right, time to come. Boom, I come. What if you could do that too? What if you could give her orgasm after smashing orgasm and be the best she's ever had? I'll tell you this, boys, your worth as a man, at least in her eyes, is totally tied up into how good you are in the bedroom. Get your ticket right now. Click the link in the description below, and we will see you in 2 days. Again, if you can't make it, you get a recording. All right, the technique of all techniques, boys. My friend taught me this in my 20s, and I was like, are you serious, bro? Does this really work? And then I tried it with a girl. I actually tried it first masturbating, and it fucking worked like gangbusters. So here's your homework assignment. I want you to rub one out tonight. I want you to polish the dolphin. I want you to whip out the red helmeted warrior and squeegee him clean, because you're going to try this tonight. And by the way, if you think masturbation is wrong or gross or shameful, I have to question your belief systems, bro. The way you feel about masturbation ties directly into how you feel about sex. So if you're like all embarrassed about it, or you feel guilty after you rub one out, there's a belief system in there, man. I guarantee it. So here's what you do. You rub one out, and then when you come, you don't touch it. You know, when you're coming, you obviously want to continue touching it, continue going, and you indulge in it. You think about the girl, you stare at her, you're like focused on her tits or her face, and it's like super intense, and you super indulge in the orgasm. Well, instead of doing that, you're going to let it come without looking at the girl, without thinking about sex, without touching it, and thinking about something that completely turns you off. I know this is weird, it's unconventional, but oh my hell, it works. Why does it work? Because physiologically, you are having an orgasm. You are coming. You're getting rid of that need to come, but mentally, you're not coming. You're not really there. And this takes a lot of self-control, because you want to like indulge in it, but you have to think about something else. Think about motorcycles. Think about surfing. Think about dolphins. Think about grandmas. Think about old men with big beards on motorcycles who have the worst BO you've ever smelt in your life, something that turns you off. I know, boys, it's weird. And you're going to think, dude, aren't I going to put myself in a post-hypnotic trance and start becoming attracted to Harley guys? No, you will not. You're just distracting yourself. And if you want to, you can think about an old grandma or whatever it is that doesn't do it for you. I always think about like motorcycles or like cars or things that aren't sexual in any way whatsoever. Humans are a little bit weird, right? So think about something that doesn't turn you on. Okay, you're coming, you're not touching it. So literally your penis is sitting there spewing cum, but you have your hands up like you're under arrest, and you're looking at the ceiling being like, motorcycles, I wonder who's going to win the 450 class this year. Probably Jet Lawrence again. Can hate that guy. I hope Hayden Deegan comes up from the 250 class and just blasts him out of the water. And then your penis is done coming. But guess what? Your boner remains, boys, because you did not indulge in that orgasm. It's going to feel like the orgasm never happened, and you can have sex immediately again. And this time you're going to be able to last way longer. So explain this to the girl. Be like, hey, listen, you know, I'm going to come a little bit faster than I want to, but we're going to do this thing where I'm not going to indulge in it. Like, don't say anything, just lay there. I'm going to come on your tummy. I may be looking at the ceiling with my hands up like I'm under arrest, but just know that I know what I'm doing. And then I'm going to be able to have sex immediately again. And she'll be like, okay, I understand. And guys, girls are usually really understanding if you simply explain to them, hey, you know, sometimes I come faster than I want to. I really want to indulge in this with you. I want to last a lot longer. So here's the strategy that really works well for me. And again, guys, test this with masturbation before you actually do it on a girl. You will be shocked at how effective this is. Now, once again, I'm just a dude. I'm just a man getting through life the best he can. I'm not a sex expert. This is my layman's experience taught to me by a friend when we were in college, and it's worked well for me. But guys, if you want the expert to teach you exactly how to last longer with breath work, with what to focus on, with how to move correctly, to not stimulate yourself too much, yet stimulate her to orgasm, you need to come to this masterclass. Kirsten is a sexy sex coach, boys. She has the sexiest voice I've ever heard in my life. In fact, I want her to do some dub-overs for some of my work because her voice is so sexy. She's feminine. She's girly. She knows all about sex. She's going to demonstrate certain things. I am going to actually bring in Marissa. Marissa and I are going to get butt naked, and I'm going to go ahead and have a festival in her vestibule to show you guys exactly how you need to do it. I'm just fucking with you. We're not going to do that. I'm going to be the co-host. I will be answering questions on the side. I'll be chatting with you guys as the masterclass is going on. So if you're interested in that, boys, do not sleep on this. It's an investment that you're going to put into yourself, and it's happening in 2 days. Saturday, September 27th at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I will see you boys there. All right, gentlemen, I hope this episode has helped you. Stay tuned for the next one, which is dropping on Monday, and I will see you in the next episode.